releasing yourself from the bondage of the world, releasing yourself from attachments to outer things, to cars, to houses, to clothes, to fashion, to creating, to just the materialism, the gain, the status, the praise. Look at me. Oh, I'm doing this. And you're feeling fulfilled because you're doing all these outward things. Oh, I'm doing yoga. I'm doing this. I'm meditating. I'm this. I'm that. Oh, I'm going to church. This. I'm that. This. All of these outward programs and narratives. Because even when scriptures say you're here in the world, but you're not of it. Come out of the world. Come out of her. Come out of all these attachments. Come out of all these programs and false ways of thinking and living, believing. Stop living in fear. Stop holding on to the programs of fear, of unforgiveness, of hate, of all these outward ways. And coming to the kingdom, coming to the inner fulfillment and joy of just being in life, taking life slow, really pausing, reflecting, meditating, you really contemplating for real. But you have to let go of your attachment to your job, your car, your business. You have to let go of everything. You have to fully surrender. You have to strip down and come back bare, come back naked. So you can learn how to walk and rise again. This journey back to Eden, this journey back to the womb, to self, this journey back to source is so deep. So when people want to compare things to the Matrix, you take the blue pill or the red pill, they have made it an internet fad. Like it's an internet just outer lust, and it's not a real true inner knowing of which pill are you really taking on a higher level, on a God level, on a conscious level, on an awareness level. We watch these cartoons growing up, Avatar and things like that, the Powerpuff Girls, but we don't truly believe that we possess the power within, for the kingdom of heaven is within. When you could be sound in your mind, when you can have a childlike spirit of imagining, of seeing, of sensing, of feeling, of belief. Belief is a superpower. Believing. Eternal life is a gift. The meek shall inherit the earth. When you can be meek and humble. So when you see an outer situation, when you see an outer circumstance, what does that tell you? How do you react and respond to challenges, to hardships, to struggles? Do you give all the way into it, or do you overcome it? Do you overcome the world? Do you overcome what society says? Do you overcome what all these false narratives say? When you can truly give up everything and live free and not care, because you know spirit carry you. You know spirit is leading you. You know spirit is guiding you. You know that you embody spirit. You know that you embody this whole earth. You know that you are one with source. You know that you are one with the trees. You have come into that higher awareness, that higher knowledge of truth, of that inward joy, of the inner kingdom. The Garden of Eden is in the mind. It's within first, and then it's an outward manifestation. But depending on where you live, depending on what you're seeing, depending on your lifestyle, that's how you can truly see if the kingdom is on earth, or if it ever been, or whatever. When you start coming deeper into awareness, when you start coming back deeper into that consciousness, you coming up higher, you're seeing, you're perceiving things differently, you're getting visions, you're in the prophetic realm, you are it. You are it. The reason why people love Egypt so much is because in that time they embodied that consciousness, that wisdom, that feeling, that sensory, that awareness. But when you hold on to the outward too much with anything, when you don't have a balance, when you don't know the art of letting go and freeing yourself, freeing your spirit, being back fluid, when you hold on to all this outward stuff, you're corrupting. When you're putting the wrong foods in your body, you're corrupting the temple. Your body is so important. It's important. What you intake is important. The words that you speak, the thoughts that you think, your actions. It's judgment day every day. Every day you're being judged by your actions. Every day your life plays out a karma. It plays out a consequence. It plays out something back to you. But are you seeing? Are you receptive to that hearing, to that knowledge, to that information, to those visions, to what Spirit is telling and showing you? What is your level of obedience to your life's path, your life's journey, where life is taking you, if you are allowing the Most High to come into you and do that? So when you hear the words ascended master and things like that, that's a person that has overcome the world just as Christ. It's not you holding on to that person or to that idea or that concept, but you have the power to release it and let it go as well. You can transmute it always. It's a death because you don't hold on to it. So when you release attachments and get over rejection and get over pain and get over all these things, and you come into the observatory mindset, the observatory observance, then you will know that, wow, now you living and you seeing a totally different way. You're walking with God a totally different way, a new way. People are holding on to the old ways, or you doing it yourself. You going to get a job. You going to get a loan. You going to get a car. When you learn how to, when you know independence and then you know dependence, when you're not codependent upon these outer things, drugs and things like that, you are holding on to what you know is truth, which is your spirit, the I am that I am. It doesn't matter about my body, my sunglasses, how I look, any of that. It's my spirit, it's my presence, it's the God within, it's my love, it's my charity, it's my what I'm giving out into the world, what I'm giving out of myself. The world is just another word for matrix. It's a program, it's a setup, it's a way. It's a way, a path, a doorway to something. So it's important to embody yourself, your true self, your higher self, your guru, your God, your goddess, your higher being, your higher self, the higher power that's leading and guiding your life, that you trust, know, feel, and believe to be true. It's inward. It's inward. When we meet certain people along our journey, they can be teachers, they can be students, they can be people of all kinds, but you hear of what's coming out of their mouth to hear for the voice of God, or if it's ego, if it's a false narrative, a false program, if it's the devil, you know. If Spirit been telling you something and you know it and you believe it and you feel it, when anything outside of you, when it tries to come to you and say something different, that's how you know that that's not of Spirit. But if somebody says something that aligns with what Spirit has been telling you, what inner downloads, what inner knowledge, what inner information you've been receiving as instructions and guidance to go over here, to go to the next level, to release this, to do that, to whatever. Because only you can hear that. Only you can follow that. But the outward information of things you have to test. It's a test. Every day is a test of inward, of what you're listening to and what you're holding on to, what you're choosing. And yes, it plays out outwardly in your life. only you can know for yourself. That's why Bob Marley said, only but us can free our minds. It's only us. It's only you. It's only yourself. You have to choose every day what God you gonna serve. To put it in biblical context of that. But you choose every day if you cut online, if you awake, if you become awakened. Many are called, few are chosen. The world that's made here right now is for many, but the one to come is for few. So you gotta know. You have to know. Every day when you wake up, what is Spirit showing you? What is Spirit telling you? What is being revealed to you? You have to go within and meditate on that information. You have to go in and meditate on those answers, those visions, what you're receiving. But you can block and cut yourself off to that receiving. So you have to awaken. 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 People come and spark different jewels, different things in your life for a reason. When you say, oh, I'm glad I crossed paths with you or with a certain person, what does that mean? You crossing paths with someone. One day, you're not going to see that person anymore. But what can you take from that person? What can you take from their life? What can you take from their story, their message, their journey, their teachings? But you don't hold on to that person. You don't hold on to that. Because when you believe that I am infinite and I am passing through this realm, I am traveling, when you really know that you're not of this world, when you come up higher past all what you see, to be back in the throne room, the seat of God, to be the observer, to have your eye awakened, to have your eye online and turned on to where you're seeing. What are you seeing? A seer. What is a seer? We hear all these so-called deep things, these spiritual things, but are we really unlocking it and awakening it within? Are we processing this information internally? And then what are we digesting? What are we spitting out? What are we putting back out to co-create in what we're seeing? When you can see the new world, when you can see the new kingdom, when you can see how Earth once was, the beings here on the planet, how people were. This is just one form of what we are. We can transform. We can transmutate. Resident Evil, come on now. They're showing you through DNA how they can transform you. How can you go from a regular human being, then you can go into another form, another state? So when you say your higher self, you're going into another form, another state. You're becoming something more than what you are now. You're evolving, evolution. And just like I shared on my Instagram, when you are becoming Christ, this is what I also said in the YouTube video before. When you are becoming Christ, when you have overcome the world just as Christ, when you can overcome all the challenges, everything that this earth can throw at you, not having a car, not having a house, not having rent paid, not having a car, not going to school, not getting an education in the world's eyes, by you going to Princeton and Harvard and all these places, going the world's way, going to Walmart, going to Burger King, going the world's way, all these outer concepts and ideas that they made for you. But when you come back to the earth, when you come back to the knowledge, the true wisdom, when you come back home to God, to self, to source, when you truly seeing, you have become a chosen one. You are a chosen one. You have unlocked and awakened ancient DNA, ancient knowledge, ancient memory, ancient codes, because it has become ancient because of the fall. But now that it's a time of arising, it's a time of awakening, and we're sharing information, it's all to spark a thought, a seed. You're planting seeds. I told y'all before, like, Think of it in a way too as a program. Your mind is being a computer, and you got viruses and things popping up. Are you cleaning up the disk? Are you cleaning up the storage, your internal and external storage? Are you getting rid of and deleting the program so you could be back better, so you could be back running effectively? Are you downloading new programs to upgrade you? You always got to get an upgrade. The phone always got to get an upgrade. Your laptop, your computer, it always got to get an upgrade. You always want to upgrade your lifestyle, right? You want to eat better. You want to do better. You want to drive better. You want to whatever better. But be better. That's you wanting to climb up to a higher state. But in that climbing, it's levels. It's things that you got to let go of. It's things that you got to surrender. And if you can't let go of the attachments to these things, then you can't go up higher. Then you get stuck at a level. And don't let the level be a material level, because that's the level everybody on right now. That's the masses. What the masses always do, the masses always die. The masses always the ones running this way when you should be running that way. You should be going that way instead of that way. But you think it's this way instead of that way. You know? It's a book called The Game of Life and How to Play It, I believe. I never read it. I never listened to it, nothing, but I heard about it. And just based on observation, even when people want to refer to that or talk about that, you're only learning the game of the system and not really the game of life. You're learning the game of the system. That's the way that your mind is perceiving that information. It's so you could be better in the system, so you could be better in the world, so you could be better in other people's eyes. Oh, look at me. I work here. I do this. I got promoted. Yeah, we're all doing this. We're all doing that. You know, when you can see this matrix for what it is. When you could just see this matrix for what it is, man. And you just break this shit down, like really break it down and let go of it. And I can speak about this because this is what I've done. I told y'all what I wanted to be. I thought I was going to be this. I thought I was going to be that. This lifetime is for me to let go. And this is what I'm surrendering to. This is what I have surrendered to. I have surrendered my old way and have taken upon a new way. And I'm living it and I'm seeing it. It is a course in miracles. It is the secret. It is straight intuition. To live a life free, moving through like that and seeing too. Yeah. So with these master teachers and this rise of information, any information that you come into, even on a Christian aspect, it's all about you take what resonates and you keep going. You just keep going. And you come into new information. You come into new things. You're coming up higher. But can you handle it? You can handle waves better when you prepare for them. You can handle waves better when you learn how to float and just ride it out. When you become one with the rhythm again. You become one with the womb, that womb consciousness, that water consciousness, that aquatic consciousness, elemental consciousness, elemental. That's why it's important to return back to the earth, to return back to nature. We are higher, whether you believe it or not. When you hear an owl, when you hear a cat, when you look at a cat, when you look at the trees, when you look at God, when you look at the sun, when you look at the moon. Y'all saw that eclipse last night. For some of you that was watching, that was seeing. Those are signs and wonders. Those are amazement. Those are the awes and the whys of God. Beauty, creation. Nature, the elements, what you're seeing. It's not these buildings that's sitting on top of Mother Earth. It's not this that's sitting on top of her. This false, this lie, these laws, these ways. No. When you return back to truth, when you turn back to source, you cut online. You become God. You come back one with self. You come back one. You become Christ. You're back one with God. Christ showed you the way. to the inner kingdom and not this outer kingdom. Not this. It's not this. What you learn from Buddha, how to let go, how to meditate, right? What can you pull and take from these people? Christ went out into the wilderness. Christ fasted. Christ he let go of the attachments to the outer world, to being praised, to being looked upon. Why was he born in a barn? Why was he born so lowly like that? But he's of royalty, because he showed you how you can fall and build your ass back up, how you could become your higher self again. When you let go of the flesh, when you let go of the body, when you let go of eating this way, eating that way, watching this, watching that, doing this, doing that, when you can let it all go and come back into your power, come back into that knowing, you knowing that you are a child of the Most High, the God over all. Over all. It's not the Christianized way of how we've been perceiving who God, what God is, what this is. We've been holding on to a program, a lie. When we can be naked and free again like a child, and we can hear the water flowing, our feet planted in the ground, or we sitting on a rock. You got the sun, you got the wind blowing. When you tap into that realm of consciousness, that realm of awareness, that realm of feeling and hearing, when you hear a bird, how it just go into your body, and you just, that, man, you gotta know to know. This is deep. This is deep. And this is information that shouldn't even be shared on the internet. But it's to go into someone's internet. Do you get it? It's for someone to throw a seed in someone's internet, to catch it, so they can grow along their journey, so they can keep going, so they can keep pushing forward, so they can keep having faith and trust and belief in something higher that's calling deeper in their spirit. So you need somebody stronger than you, somebody who's going through it. So you hold on to someone who's been through it or going through it. But whatever you receive back, you have to apply it and walk about your days. You have to walk like Enoch, walk as God, walk with God. You have to take that leap, that journey of faith, that next step. You have to do it. But you have those there to help you, to help guide you if you resonate with that truth. If you resonate with that truth that you know within yourself, to get you along your way, to help you keep going. That's all I'm going to share with y'all today. I love y'all. Peace.